Victor, thanks for coming down and talking to us. Sorry we didn't get the result we're looking for, but if you would, just tell us how you feel right now.
Well, I think like everybody else. It's not easy, but it's just races, you know. I'm always ready for the best and the worst. And today I feel like we don't have enough to be able to, like, you know, win this race.
In the Preakness, you were able to shift outside early in the race. You were inside for the first part of today. Did that make a difference? Were you comfortable early on?
Well, after the race, you can always look back and think about it. Maybe it make a difference, maybe not. But I don't think it make that much difference. It just, I feel like he was a little bit empty today.
When did you first start to feel that?
I was there by the 5/8 pole. I feel like you don't really like, you know, it was not like before. I'm not sure if it was because it was inside, but I be able to like swing to the outside by the early half a mile and put him in the clear, and I thought that was the best for me. Oh no, he moved out just a little bit, the horse in front of me, and he kind of got a little bit intimidated at that point, which has never done that before. That was the first time, you know, I noticed that he got just a little bit shy in there.
Questions for Victor, please?
Victor, at the 8th pole, that 3/16 to 8th pole, you're right alongside the winner. Do you feel you had anything left to run with this guy?
No, I was empty in the 3/8.
From Telemundo en español, por favor.
Yep.
Hola, Víctor, gracias por tu tiempo. Pero queremos que nos expreses cómo te sientes. Había mucha expectativa, casi todas las apuestas iban a que California Chrome y tú se iban a coronar, romper esa mala racha de hace 36 años. ¿Qué pasó esta carrera?
Pues nada, fue una cosa de que, como todo, ¿verdad? No pudimos lograrlo y ahora estaba un poquito cansado del caballo, que no me correspondió como las otras carreras atrás.
Tú dijiste que lo encontraste un poco vacío. Exactamente explica este término. ¿Qué ocurrió?
Bueno, no te puedo explicar todo porque no vamos a estar toda la noche.
Victor, last one for Victor.
Well, that's races, you know. That's why it's so tough. It's so tough to win this race. I wish I can explain why you know, he can't perform like before, but you know, I feel like he was not really like in his race today. I mean, maybe a little bit earlier. Even when he come out of the gate, for a minute I thought I was gonna just let it go in the front, but I thought it was too much because he broke step a little bit slower. And there was one horse in front of me, and I don't want to rush her in there. I thought it was too early to take the lead, but you know, one of those things that, you know, sometimes you make the right things and sometimes not. But I feel like California Chrome, he was not the same like before, so that's why I make my decision to wait a little bit longer. Before, you know, he break running and he take me right in the race. He helped me. Today, I feel like his energy, he was not the same like before. So that's why I decided just to wait a little bit longer and behind all the horses.
Victor, thank you very much. We want to.
Excuse me? No.
All right, we want to get to Alan Sherman because Alan needs to get back to the horse, assistant trainer for California Chrome. Alan, if you would, just give us your impressions of the race.
You know, the horse tried hard. Excuse me. It's a long, hard grind on these young horses, and it's why the Triple Crown is so tough to win. It's just, you know, the horse tried. That's all I can ask for. He took me on the ride of my life, and I'll always have that in my heart for that horse.
And what did you see in the running of the race as you were watching it?
You know, I thought he was in pretty good shape, but I saw when Victor started to squeeze on him a little, he didn't respond like he had in the past. He was just a little wore out, I think.
Questions for Alan? Just a few.
Haven't talked to him.
Curious, the fact that he never run on this track before, was that at all a factor? Do you think that he didn't take to the surface or what?
I don't know. Victor seemed to think he handled the surface fine. I think he did. He did for me. That's all that matters. He did for us. So whatever everyone else thinks, it doesn't really matter.
Did you get a look at him afterwards? He came back okay?
He looked fine.
Alan, we want to let you go. I know you want to get back to the horse. Thanks for coming to see us.
No pasó nada, sí, no, simplemente el caballo no tuvo la energía que tenía antes y pues sabes que son carreras, son carreras que son muy duros para un caballo tan joven como él, pero ¿saben qué? Que es uno de los mejores caballos que yo he montado y seguirá siendo el mismo.
Victor, in terms of in the context of his entire campaign and the year he's had, can you just talk about him up to this point and then hopefully a future for him?
Yeah, you know what? I know regardless what happens today, I believe he's one of the best horses I ever rode in my career, and I have tremendous ride with him. You know, it's just unexpected. We reach almost in the top. You know, it's just one step away to get to the top. You know, it's tough. It's tough for California Chrome to come back for 3 weeks and a mile and a half, and it's just this race is just tough. And it's probably California Chrome is one of the horses that he run most races than any other horse in the field. And all the horses fresh, so yeah, it's just not easy. But like I said, regardless what happens, we move on. And I'm just an honor to be in him and have such a nice ride with all these victories that we have together.
When do you think we'll see another Triple Crown? Will we?
I hope so, man. I mean, the last one, I think, it jinxed everything. It's hunting us. This is for the second time, but you know what? The last time that I've been here to Istanbul, today I don't feel bad because California Chrome, he was just a little bit empty today.
Did you?
Excuse me?
Can a horse win a Triple Crown now?
I'm sure. One of these days it will. Sooner or later we need to break this bad karma that's following us.
Victor, can you tell us about the conversations you all had strategy-wise coming into the race, and then did you ever have thoughts of going straight for the lead out of the gate?
You know what? I thought if he breaks running, I would let him go. But I noticed something as soon as he come out of the gate. He was not the same, and I was just in my position. I don't want to use him in the first turn because it's a mile and a half. And if I use it in there, I'm going to use it like two or three lengths early. And for that, I thought it was going to, be a nightmare. And so when I decided just stay in behind a little bit, and I know he was in the half mile, by the 5/8 pole, he was just empty. And that's, I kind of move out, so see if he can make a difference, but no.
Okay, 2 more for Victor.
Bueno, lo mismo, ¿verdad? Yo he sabido perder y ganar, y ahora seguirá lo mismo.
Last question.
The nasal, he just more weight out into the horse, and I think it's open more his nose to get more dirt inside. I don't think that thing helps.
Okay, I take that back. One more question.
No, me siento bien porque tú sabes que para mí que lo monté bien y pues no hubo ninguno de que el caballo la haya yo regado o que la haya regado, así es que estaré bien.
Victor,
seguir para adelante.
thanks for your time. We appreciate you coming to talk to us.
Thank you for all your support.
It's been a great run.
Bye.
All right, everyone, we're joined now by the owner of the winner of the 146 Belmont Tonalist. That owner is Robert Evans. Thank you for joining us down here. Congratulations. Maybe to start, we should just ask you your impressions of the race and how you saw it unfold. And if you could bring the mic a little closer.
We were a little bit nervous about having the outside post and how he'd react to the crowd, and he was perfect. He didn't bother him a bit, and he broke well. Got a good position, and Joel rode him beautifully.
And for you all to have this great success, inevitably you had to be a Triple Crown spoiler. Your thoughts on that?
We loved California Chrome. We hoped he'd win the Triple Crown, but we love our horse too.
And tell us about his last few weeks since the Peter Pan. I mean, he's really come around.
He was sick before the Wood Memorial, and we couldn't run him in it, and so then we couldn't run in the Derby. And so we aimed for the Peter Pan, and Christophe Clement did a beautiful job of getting him ready for the Peter Pan, and he surprised me. It wasn't a very nice day. There were thunderstorms and lots of rain and a muddy track, and he just galloped, and that was a clue that he was really a good horse because he was only about 3/4 fit. And so we had 4 weeks to get ready for this, and Christophe had him just right.
And with the ride that Joel gave him today, can you talk about the trip?
He was in perfect position the whole way. He said he was happy with the 11 post. It allowed him to get the horse into stride and do what he wanted to do with him, and he did that.
Can you tell us more of the backstory of how you acquired this horse and also getting him to the races?
Well, Thasek Tipton runs a horse sale at Saratoga every year, and of yearlings. And I had 2 horses with Wayne and Kathy Sweezy to sell for me, which they were unsuccessful in selling. They also had Tonalist, and they were unsuccessful in selling him. And Kathy Sweezy urged me 10 times probably to look at the horse and go back, drag me back. And I said, I didn't get any money for the other horses. I don't have any money to spend on it. She said, you've got to buy this horse. And he didn't sell, so they discounted him substantially. And I said, finally, all right, I'll buy him. So she made me do it.
And he's very lightly raced. He was late getting to the races as a 2-year-old. Why was he late getting started? And then talk about his campaign this spring.
Well, he's 17 hands. He's a great big boy, and sort of like his grandfather, Pleasant Colony. Christophe doesn't push horses. He takes great care of his horses. And he said, yeah, I'm patient. I've been in the game a long time, and I know you have to be patient and take care of the horse. And that's what we did.
And just tell us a little bit more about the feeling of being the Belmont Stakes winner. How did it feel when they hit the wire?
I was slightly surprised. And it's great. I mean, I've been in this game a long time. I told somebody this morning that I've been in it 50 years. I can't wait another 50 years to win a race like this.
Questions from the room first?
Ron? Steve Coburn has said that he feels any horse that enters the Triple Crown either races in all 3 or none at all. If they don't have the points to get to the Derby, they shouldn't be in the Triple Crown. What's your retort to that?
I have no comment on that.
Yeah, Lenny.
Mr. Evans, you mentioned Pleasant Colony. Could you talk about your family's involvement in this Triple Crown series and how satisfying it is to maybe put the period on an incomplete sentence from the past?
Well, it's very satisfying. Actually, yesterday I went to my father's grave and thanked him for putting me in a position to be doing this. And I came to 1981 to the Belmont. We had high hopes for Pleasant Colony. I've been where Steve Coburn's been, and it's not fun when you don't win. It was very quiet after he didn't win. He was a wonderful horse, but and it's very satisfying to be able to make up for that. My brother was a great breeder and owner and did really well in the business, and so did my father, and I kind of tagged along behind them, but now they're both gone, and I feel I have to fill their shoes if I can.
If anybody in the press box has a question, go see Ski, and he can relay it down to me. In the meantime, we'll take another one from down here. Yes, sir.
Yeah, we actually talked yesterday, and you talked about how fortunate you have to be to even get a horse in a race like this. So in winning it, I mean, did you sort of reflect on all the horses that you've had and that your family's had, and sort of how remarkable it is to get one to this point?
It's remarkable to even have one in a race like this, and then the winner. I think we were 11-to-1 odds. We had one chance in 11 of winning, and that's means that you probably aren't going to.
We got one from the press box. I'll relay it. Go. Jenny Reese of the Louisville Courier-Journal would like to know if you're ever confused for the president of Churchill Downs Incorporated.
In Canada, they call me Shell Evans. My middle name is Sheldon, and most people that know me well call me Shell. Here I seem to be Robert, which is his name. I don't like the association. Let me just leave it at that.
Fair enough. We have another one down here.
I just wonder what it's like. How does it feel like watching your horse win this? Do you feel like you're riding him, or do you maybe feel like you're running the mile and a half yourself? How's it like?
I feel like I don't want to watch. I didn't even watch the stretch run very well.
Is the fact it was a Pleasant Colony broodmare sire, did that enter into your willingness to listen to Miss Squeezy?
Yes, it did, very definitely. Pleasant Colony is a great broodmare sire, and I think was a very underrated sire. Those of you that know anything about the business know that some stallions in Kentucky breed to 200 mares a year. My father wouldn't breed him to more than 36 mares a year. He thought that was plenty. So he didn't breed as nearly as many, but his statistics were wonderful.
Yeah, we got another one from upstairs. You have any thoughts on potential changes to the Triple Crown format?
I actually think it would be better to spread it out a little bit. It's better for the horses, and it would be better to promote it, I think. It would allow more time to create interest. Racing has a problem in that it doesn't believe in marketing or selling itself, and it should do more of that, but the time wouldn't do any good if racing didn't promote and sell.
Very good. Anything else down here in the room?
Well, to follow up on that, like, it wouldn't be in the Triple Crown then, right?
The follow-up was, would it be a little easier then if the races were spaced out further?
I don't know. Things change in the world.
You said you went to the graveside yesterday. Where is that?
In Connecticut.
The question for those upstairs was, where was the gravesite that Mr. Evans visited yesterday of his father?
It's the same town I live in.
Ron?
Any plans at this point for this summer for the horse?
At this point, no. I mean, we got to look at how he comes out of the race and how he does and give him time to get over it. But, of course, we'd love to aim for the Travers, and you can dream. As Christophe says, we made the dream come true so far, and we have high dreams for him. He said early on, and when he knew how good he was a really good horse, he wanted him to have a career, and we want him to have a career.
All right, we got another one upstairs. If you could just talk about Christophe and the job that he's done training this horse, especially bringing him up to the Belmont.
Well, he's obviously a world-class trainer. He has a reputation, which he resents, of being a grass trainer, and I think rightly so. I think a good trainer can train horses to do anything. Some horses like to run better on grass than they do dirt. This horse likes to run on dirt. We're not going to show him grass except to eat it.
Anything else in the room?
Where in the run did you know you would run winners?
At what point did you know?
Right at the end when they saw the photo.
Were you here for Belmont 1981? What do you remember about how deflating that was?
He didn't have a very good ride in the race. He got too far behind, and he came running through the stretch, and it was clear he wasn't going to get there, and it was just very disappointing. It was very quiet in our box with my father and brother and myself, and we turned around and walked out. That was it.
It was a heck of a day at Belmont Park today. Can you talk about this record crowd and just the experience of this big Belmont Stakes day?
I think it's fabulous. I was on the NYRA board for 20 years, and I think the day today was spectacular. It couldn't have been better in any way. I've never seen a card of races like this. The Ogden Phipps was 3 of the best fillies I've ever seen race in one race, and I think it was just great. I mean, it's so exciting, and this is the way racing ought to be.
Are you still the breed farm in Virginia? And how many horses?
I have a farm in Maryland.
Is it Maryland?
Yes.
How many horses?
Well, I have a lot of horses. They aren't all there.
Can you elaborate, tell us more details on your operation and where the horses are? And
I'd rather not.
fair enough. Anything else in the room or upstairs? All right, well, congratulations again The winner of the Belmont Stakes was Tonalist. Mr. Evans, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
We are fortunate to have Joel Rosario down here in the Film Theater right now, and he is riding the last today, so we're only going to have him for a few minutes. Joel, if you would, just take us through the Belmont trip.
First of all, hello everybody. Good trip, and I was on the outside the whole way, and this big horse, and helping him go in a mile and a half.
I mean, it was pretty much how I imagined you would have drawn it up. It couldn't have been easier, really. The trip, I mean, from the outside.
I was comfortable the whole way. He was going easy. Right when they broke out of there, he kind of broke just a little bit slow. Then, I tried to save ground, taking a little bit, and then, trying to be in a good position. I don't want to be too far behind because, going mile and a half, they're not quick enough. When they turn for home, they just kind of stay one pace.
And at what point did you feel like you were a winner?
When I passed the 3 pole, I don't have a lot of horses because he I didn't even ask him yet. He just picked up those 2 horses in front of him, by himself. So I was very confident in that. But when I turned for home, I kind of worried a little bit. He's kind of he just stayed there for a little bit, and the horse come to him, and but he picked him up after that, little.
And obviously part of the story is that you do have to play the role of spoiler with California Chrome. Your thoughts on ending the Triple Crown bid?
Yeah, I was rooting, for him, but to be good, for racing and all that, and too bad, not happen for him today. So.
A few questions for Joel before he's got to go ride the next, but we'll get a few.
Joel, cuéntanos un poco qué significa ganar esta carrera para ti, para República Dominicana, y quizás haber vencido a California Chrome.
Something is in Spanish about me, okay?
He speaks Spanish very good. Habla español bien. Sí, tú sabes bien algo, tú sabes, otro step up lo estoy hablando en inglés. Otro poquito, tú sabes, más para mi carrera, tú sabes, de ganar el Belmont Stakes. Ya yo hubiera competido, llegado tercero un par de veces. Y, tú sabes, contento y toda mi gente de mi país que siempre me apoyan, yo me imagino que tienen que estar contentos también.
¿Un poquito triste de ganarle a California Chrome?
Sí, porque, ¿cómo te diría? Todo el mundo, tú sabes, quiere que California Chrome, tú sabes, gane, hace historia. Y si yo había pensado en mi mente, digo, si yo pierdo, quiero perder de California Chrome, no de alguien más, tú sabes. Pero gracias a Dios, lo logramos ganar, no sucedió para él ahora. Bueno, un poquito, ¿sabes? Mucha gente que, tú sabes, vinieron a ver a California Chrome correr. Tú sabes, un poquito, me imagino, triste, tú sabes, que no pasó, pero yo de parte mía, tú sabes, contento porque gané la carrera, pero tú sabes.
¿Tenías expectativas de ganar o realmente
No, tenía expectativas de ganar, seguro que sí. O sea, cuando vamos a correr, o sea, cada quien, o sea, quiere ganar. O sea, yo digo, si pierdo la carrera, quiero perder de California Chrome, no de alguien más, tú sabes.
Couple more for Joel. Ron?
Where did you feel you needed to be at the top of the stretch? Because normally if you're behind third, where did you feel you?
Question was, where did he feel like he needed to be at the top of the stretch?
Well, at the top of the stretch, I know I was on the outside the whole way, and I know I was going to be there, turning for home because, my horse was going easy. And I just trying to say that, because he's a kind of, one big horse, he just keep on going. So I don't want to be, in the inside. Yeah.
I'm sure there was a point in the previous where you thought you might get to California Chrome when you were going down the stretch on a run. Today, when did you know that California Chrome maybe didn't have it?
Well, right when in the beginning with the first turn, I can see him, and he was in a little bit of trouble, inside there to get in his position, and I was in the outside, have a clean trip the whole way.
Well, Joel, you got 14 minutes to post for the last, so we're gonna let you go.
So I gotta go. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Congratulations.
See you in the last race. Not that one.
I think the jockey can be. What do you think, right?
All right, now we're joined by the winning trainer of the Belmont Stakes, Christophe Clement. Christophe, congratulations. Let's just start with the race itself, and if you could give us your impressions of Tonalist's effort today.
I thought you ran a great race. I kind of enjoy watching the replay again because I've only seen very quickly afterwards. You know, I mean, I thought he trained very well going to the race. Joel gave him a great ride. My only instruction was just keep him comfortable. I didn't really care if he was on the pace or slightly off the pace, as long as the horse was comfortable. Because in his works and the way he trains, he's got an amazing rhythm. And the important thing is just to keep him in that rhythm. I thought just going a mile and a half, which you can see he's doing that. You know, the horse is gradually getting closer to the pace, but just at his own rhythm. And you can see it also from the quarter pole to the wire. He almost looks beaten from the tree to the quarter pole, and he just stays and stays and stays, and he comes back into the race, and he wins the race at the end.
And tell us about the finish then, and at what point did you feel like you were a winner watching it live?
Just after the wire, just tell you the truth. You can see there when Alfred in the back stretch, he's still going very easy, but he's not the only horse going easy. You know, California Chrome is going easy. The horse on the lead is going very well as well. You've got like 3 or 4 horses going as well as us. We're not the only one. But as the race progresses, you know, Joel decided to move there. He's a bit wide all the way, which is not great, but you know, with that draw, he had no choice. And the further they went, then the better he went. You know, I always believe in pedigree. At some stage, pedigree kicks in. He's out of a mare by Pleasant Colony, which is a tremendous amount of stamina. And Pleasant Colony belonged actually to Mr. Evans' father, you know, Robert Evans' father, which is great to keep it in a family. And that might be the reason why the further they went, the better he went.
Christophe, your first Triple Crown win, and you spend a lot of time in New York, except for the winters you're here. Tell us what it means to you.
It means a lot. I came here in 1991. You know, I didn't have. I've always been very lucky. I always trained for great owners. Why? Maybe because my dad was a trainer, or I'm not sure why. But I started with a small stable, but for great owners. The stable grew, and you know, the success that we all have as trainers really depends about who you train for, because obviously, you know, it's easier to win races with faster horses than slow one. And this race means a lot because it's Belmont, and even if I'm French, I consider myself a New Yorker, and this is the best race to be run at Belmont Park, and I'm going to enjoy this for a while.
And obviously the story coming in was a potential Triple Crown. You had to play the spoiler in this role. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't like that because everybody's trying to play like something negative. There's nothing negative. California Chrome did a great thing. He won the Derby, which was great. He won the Preakness, great. He came here. He created a wonderful buzz. A week ago or so, he breathed at 5:45 in the morning, and I think there were like 500 or 600 people to see him, and which is great. You know, this is what racing needs. There's nothing negative. I train Tonalist. Of course, I'm going to try to do everything I can to win the race, and you know, I'm very happy with Tonalist, and I'm sure I will manage to find a way to sleep tonight regarding the disappointment.
And can you talk about Tonalist's progression this year? He's a lightly raced horse. He had some time off after the race in February.
I thought a lot of people thought it was a negative, and I disagree. I thought it was a positive. He came from Florida. I missed the wood because, you know, he had the work which was below par in below March, and I called Mr. Evans, which was great because whenever we speak to Mr. Evans, the horse always comes up first, which is not always the case. And by missing the wood, we did not have enough points to make it to the Derby, so forget about the Derby. And the plan B was obviously Peter Pan Belmont, and it worked out. And we came to the Belmont with a fresh horse. We trained at Belmont, we had a race at Belmont, and he trained very well here in the morning. I was a little bit surprised about his price. You know, I'm not a gambler. I just thought he was going to be bet a bit more than that. But that's okay. You know, he can't read the board, and that's fine.
Can you talk about a home field advantage at Belmont? We've seen this in this race before, being a local horse.
I think there's always a small home field. It doesn't matter if it's turf or dirt. Whenever you are here, you know, I train in a way that every day I train on the main track. I don't train on the training track, so he's well used to that main track. We go by the paddock every day, so this is really is perfectly normal surroundings. You know, the other horse, California Chrome, went to Kentucky, went to the Preakness, he came to Belmont. I mean, it's an enormous amount of things to assimilate very quickly. Plus, it's 3 very tough races in 5 weeks, you know. So there's something to be said about having a fresh horse on your home ground.
I'm going to take some questions from the room. Claire?
Christophe, you've made such a great reputation with your excellence with turf horses, but I know that even earlier you had said you're not just a turf horse trainer. Can you talk first of all about how exciting it was to have a talented 3-year-old on the Triple Crown Trail, and then just address people who maybe think you're very, very good with turf horses.
Yeah, you know, it's always good. I used to complain about this, and I always say the same story. One day Belmont told me, you should never complain about being labeled as something, because at least the horses are coming your way. So I'm not complaining about anything. I did train a really nice horse called Dynava, was a dirt horse. She ran in a derby, I mean not a derby, but ran in a Belmont, finished fourth to Empire Maker. And well, it's not a bad horse. He finished place in the Breeders' Cup Classic, he finished place in the World Cup, one, you know, two of the richest races on that. But I've never been lucky enough to win a Triple Crown race until today. I can live with it. I'm myself very comfortable training 5 on dirt or a mile and a half on turf. You know, I finished second yesterday in a race going 2 miles on the grass at Belmont Park. I'm running a horse going 6 furlongs tomorrow on dirt. I mean, it's not a big deal for me. I just think, you know, we just try to adapt our training and our way of thinking with whatever we get. You know.
Dynava earned how much?
Dynava earned quite a lot of money.
Question? Yeah.
I'm curious, do you speak to Joel in Spanish or French, or how's that going?
Well, I don't really understand the word of what I say, and I don't understand much what he says, so it works out very well. You know. I did not give him much instruction. You know, a lot of people come to me, what instruction? When you use the top riders, I used to give some instruction to some of the leading riders, and I've changed a lot over the last 3 or 4 years because I think it's a mistake. The reason why they are the leading riders is because they've got better intuition than most people. And I think, you know, I would either tell somebody that has got a great turn of foot, or he finished better on the outside, or he's slow from the gate, just one thing. In this case, I talked to him 3 times about the race, and every time I said the same thing. Just keep him comfortable. As long as the horse is comfortable in his own rhythm, then things will be good. Yeah.
Steve Coburn says it's unfair if you don't come into all the Triple Crown races, that you shouldn't come into any of them. How do you feel about his statement saying that?
No comment.
That question for the folks upstairs was Christophe's reaction to Steve Coburn asserting that a horse should have to run in all 3 Triple Crown races to be fair. Yeah, we got another one here.
How did Tonalist discounted purchase price affect your expectations for the horse?
That was about Tonalist's discounted purchase price and whether that affected expectations.
No, not at all. The first time I saw Tonalist, he was trained in a training center called Payson Park by somebody called Bill Harrigan, who trains all the younger horses for Mr. Evans. And I was not aware that but the price as a yearling at the time. I just saw him train, and he was not impressive at all. When I saw him in January and February, he was just a horse. And as the year went on, as a 2-year-old, he trained better and better. But early on, as a 2-year-old, he was not an impressive type of horse. Too tall, too leggy, pleasant colony mare, needs time to fill up. You know, he was not like a precocious, speedy type. You know.
We talked a lot about the Pleasant Colony mare, but talk about Tappet, and Tappet's had so much success this year.
He's got to be a wonderful sire. I mean, unfortunately, I don't have enough of them, but he's done great. And I mean, every weekend you see stakes winners by Tappet. The few that I've got have been very good to us, and I kind of like to have more, to tell you the truth.
Got a man from NPR in the back?
He said there's nothing negative about riding kind of short, but I'm just wondering, do you think racing can captivate the country's passion like Chrome did without a Triple Crown?
I don't know. I mean, you know, Chrome was wonderful to create that buzz going to the Belmont. But I don't think we should see it as a negative that he got beat. The horse might come back. He might win the Travers. He might win the Breeders' Cup. I mean, you know, I don't think the story is finished. So it's horse racing. He's going to come back. I think it's wonderful to see the larger crowd and the excitement. I think it's wonderful to see more TV time. The Triple Crown itself, you know, obviously it's tough. I mean, if it would be easy to do it, then it will mean nothing. You know, he won a very good race. He didn't get beat that far. How far did he get beat, lengthwise?
Probably just
I don't have the knowledge. I'm not smart enough to have an answer. I don't know.
Christophe, thoughts on the rest
I
of
would
the
say my gut feeling is no. Because if you space it out more, then I'm not sure you actually make it easier. Because things change through the year. Horses do change also through the year. Yeah, that's okay. That's why we like each other. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not sure. In a case about not running in all the Triple Crown races versus just the one, then I'm not sure you should restrict races as such. I don't know. Yeah.
a lot of the top 3-year-olds are going to get a break now, but you've got a pretty fresh horse. So are you going to keep going on, and what are we thinking for the rest of the summer?
I might try to find a tough race somewhere. That's a joke. That's why.
Such as?
I don't know. I'm not, let's enjoy it. Let's see how he comes out of it. Obviously, you'll have to think about all the major races for 3-year-old. You know about the Ascot, you know about the Travers, we know about all these races. But we don't have to decide now, so let's just enjoy it a little bit.
We will keep enjoying it. Next question?
Mr. Evans said that his hope would be potentially the Travers and you being going and racing your horses in Saratoga. How nice would it be to have a serious contender in that one?
That would be great. You see, Mr. Evans wants to put some pressure on me on day one, and I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go home, have a nice little glass of wine, enjoy it, maybe watch the replay once or twice. I think, wow, Tonalist is a great horse.
That question was about going to the Travers, by the way, and Mr. Evans' desire to point for that spot.
No, I got it.
Also about a great reputation for never have been in any drug infractions or anything like that. What do you think's been the key to your success and not ever having to turn to anything like that? Why do you think?
I think it's important. I believe that if you are disciplined and the people who work with you are disciplined, you can avoid most medication problem. I belong to a culture which is, we only treat horses if they are sick and in a therapeutic way. And that's my culture, and I'd like to keep it that way.
A reminder for anybody who's upstairs in the press box, if you have a question, see Ski and he can relay it down to me. Meanwhile, we'll look around and see if there's any more down here.
Meanwhile, it's 8 o'clock, 8:07. It's been a long day for all of you. Thank you very, very much for being here. And let's go to the next day.
What time are you at the barn tomorrow?
I'll be at the barn tomorrow, 5:35.
Great. Christophe, congratulations.
Thank you very much.